Once upon a time there was a man who went by the name of Pot Goblin. He lived in the den, clam bacon, and he grew the dankest of plants, toking to stash it any chance he could get before the nicotine gnome crashed in, smoking the Marred, blowing it in the face of the Pot Goblin. He had a bad reaction, so he pulled out a piece and smoked it best green with a passion, laughing at the gnome's reaction. When the second-hand smoke leaked into the gnome's blood, he felt the love of Mary Jane's touch, so he asked the goblin for a puff. Of course he gave it up, just a nug. The gnome rolled it up and got so fucked up. The Pot Goblin and Nicotine Gnome were chilling in a hole, passing the bowl when the Boomer Boy knocked on the door with a bag of the most potent mushrooms. The Goblin opened the door and the smoke poured. The Boomer Boy walked and pupils dilated, talking about the society he hated. The bowl came to him, he took a great big hit and held it in, releasing it at the last second. The gnome pulled out a bogey and lit it. The Goblin packed another hit, took a rip and kicked it. The Boomer Boy shifted and pulled out a bag of psilocybin and offered it to the gnome and goblin. It was a good time to experience it, plus they had the munchies, so they accepted. Boomer Boy tossed the bag to the goblin, took out some fresh caps and popped them. The gnome grabbed the bag and ate the rest with a cigarette. They packed a bowl to trigger it. Nothing happened for the next hour and a half except for the flash of a lighter. Their minds started to get tighter. Things got a lot brighter. The walls looked like water. The thoughts got longer, thinking the den was haunted. The gnome ran out crying, thinking he just got molested by a titan. The goblin was fighting to become enlightened. He could feel God's presence every second. When they reached the peak, they were hallucinating, having the greatest time of their life. The gnome showed up with the bloody nose and ripped clothes. He said he encountered a Dementor and almost got his soul sucked out of his mouth. It chased him around till he came down off the boomers that were passed around. Three of them were chilling out, zoning out to the sound of the goblin's bubbler, when there was a knock on the door. "Come in," said the Pot Goblin. Lady Salvia walked in, asking if they were ready to trip. This day was about experimenting, so they packed a bomb with the most potent salvia. She took a hit and just sat still, smiling. The goblin was next, so we took a monster rip, held it until he forgot he exists. Out of body experience so intense he could barely handle it. In 5 minutes he came down from it, insisting that salvia is the shit. So the gnome took a hit. Instantly he went crazy, screaming at the lady. For the time he was out of his mind. When he came down he realized how powerful it really was. The Boomer Boy declined and ate some more psilocybin. The Boomer Boy was out of boom, so we left the den, thanking all of them for the crazy experience. The gnome smoked his last cig, so we had to get more before we started jonesing. So the goblin gave him a few nugs for good luck. Lady Salvia smoked the goblin up for one last experience before she left. The goblin rolled a spliff and relaxed in his own den.